That's been muted the entire time. That feels stupid. Anyway, as I was saying, I was very clearly not quite ready for this stream when the getting started video was going. But there we go. Welcome to the stream. We're going to do a fairly quick one today because tired. And as we mentioned, not we, as Joe mentioned in, not me Joe, other Joe, Wayman Joe, in his stream with Joe. The transfer window's tiring, but I'm going to do what I can to make the most of it and just get the news across to you guys through whatever means I can before we get into the hell of international breaks, in which I might be doing a few more little gaming things, but we'll see. But still music. I know it's a banger. I'm letting it play till the end. But what we're going to do is we're going to discuss Leeds United's new setup for a cheeky little midfielder move. Because it looks like we are potentially on the go with this deal, which is going to be fantastic, because it will cost us a very, very, very reasonable price, and he is a very, very flexible player in the middle, of course, as we all know, with Ao Tanaka. Ao Tanaka being a Japanese midfielder, but we'll get into him in a little bit more detail later on. Whilst you're here, though, I would hugely appreciate if you could pop a like on the stream. Subscribe if you're not yet. That'd be wonderful, because I had a quick look into my analytics a couple of minutes ago and disappointed in you guys. What are you calling this? 65% of you aren't subscribed. What are you doing? What are you playing at? Come on. Not a banger. Timmy Leeds, you are not subjectively but objectively wrong. In the bin. Off you go. Anyway, so talking about Ao Tanaka. So the basics of the deal are that he would cost us around £2.5 to £3 million. This, I believe, is roughly what we bid in the last window around. Ended up not getting him with that, but his contract's run down a little bit more. He's pushing more for a move because obviously the club sort of denied him that exit last time around, which he didn't like very much. So now he's like, okay, I'm actually going to go this time and I'm going to force my way out, which is fair enough. And here we are with him pushing for a move and us likely needing 2.5 to 3 million quid to get him out of Dusseldorf. Not, as Joe mentioned earlier on, Japan, which was definitely a weird one. But a lot of us don't hugely care for the finances of it as long as the players that we get in are very, very good. So how exactly does Ao Tanaka play? On this one, you know he wouldn't. Yosuke Ideguchi exists. Ish. He sort of existed, but not very well. Yeah, how does Tanaka play? Typically, he's that sort of number 8 sort of role. I'm going to whack open SofaScore to make sure that it is all as I'm expecting. At Fortuna Dusseldorf. If you're tired, you'll get some Red Bull. I hear it gives you wingers. I like that line. That is a banging line. Also, hi. Hi, Andrew. Jet lag tomorrow, yeah or nay? Let me know. I'm hoping yay, because that'd be great. Anyway, SofaScore is now loaded. So let's get scrolling to his heat map. That is his heat map from today. Well, not today, but this season, which is arguably not enough of a heat map. There we go. So, when you're thinking versatile players, there's a lot of things that you need to consider, because versatility covers all sorts of bits of the pitch. And on the topic of covering all bits of the pitch, Jesus Christ, Tanaka. That is whole buddy. Very versatile. This bit tells me that he's happy enough to play in a defensive role, a sitting role, a 6 role, sort of as Gruev does at the minute. This bit tells me that he's good enough as an 8. And this bit tells me that there's potential that he could even play as a 10 if it came to it. I doubt we'd be signing him as a number 10. But you know what? It's a job that he can do. So we're not going to complain about that in the slightest. In addition to that, you got to look outside these lines, outside the tram lines. You can do a bit of wide stuff as well. He's a fantastic player, and he'd cost us, like, very little money. That heat map's almost as red as Alan Brazil. I know. It's almost as red as Alan Brazil would be if you were to tell him that Leeds were signing another foreign player. That's a very heaty map, indeed. I don't know. I'm gonna work around you though because you're the one that's got a office job. So just let me know when you're about. Episode 1 was great though. If you don't, by the way, go and watch Jetlag. It's fantastic. But basically, this is how Tanaka plays. He's the sort of player that is happy to receive the ball anywhere on the pitch and is really good at the possession retention and stuff. Not in the way that Ugarte is. That there was a video that went around earlier where it was sort of Manuel Ugarte's highlights and possession retention. It was just him receiving the ball in a Champions League match against Newcastle and then passing it backwards about 15 yards every time. There's some people who will be very cynical and be like, "Oh, he's perfect for Leeds," as a result of that. But let's not be those people, because he's also good at those sort of line-breaking passes. He'd be fantastic at finding our wingers. In terms of statistics, scored 7 last season, which is pretty good out of midfield. Started 24 times, 75 minutes a match, and in the team of the week a bit. So he has that potential to be exceptional. How is he on assists? Let's have a look. 3 assists last season. Not bad. Created a lot of big chances, but they weren't typically executed, which is pretty decent, you know? Passing accuracy of 89% as well. That is very, very high. Not bad on the long balls either, with 76% accuracy, but crosses, not good. Then again, not a winger, not going to complain too much. And he's got reasonable defensive stats as well, which is not too iffy. But as much as we all think, well, Tanaka's great, but what else are we going to do in terms of business? Graham Smith mentioned a potential 3 more after signing Manor Solomon. So, if we're assuming that Tanaka or a number 8 like that is the first of this list, who else is on the list? The first of the ones that we saw was Roland Saleh, who was discussed earlier today with a sort of link between us and... Where the hell does Saleh play? Freiburg? Maybe. We've got a lot of German clubs in our contact list, I've just realised that. But yeah, the contact between us and Roland Saleh, which looks very, very promising, especially with Tavolieri reporting it, and The Athletic, and Graham Smith, and the BBC. Could be worse. There's a hell of a lot of sources backing that one, and he's a very, very good player. No matter how much some people in my comments might think, I've never heard that name before, he can't be very good. You're wrong. And there is still the question of the left back. So it would look like Tanaka, it would look like a number 8. Tanaka is number 8. A number 10, Roland Saleh, and then potentially a left back, which would be very good because we need a bit of depth there. And the one slight concern I've got right now is we haven't really been linked with anyone properly at left back for quite a while. There was McNulty a while back. That went a little bit dry. We had Luca Netz linked last year, but that's not going to happen because Gladbach basically value him very highly. He's their starting left back, and the only way I can see that happen is if he's sort of used as a bargaining, there's the word, as a bargaining chip in like a Max Wuber conversation, but that's far from guaranteed as well. And on that note, there is discussion on Wuber potentially leaving. So Wuber clearly doesn't want to be here at this point. Gladbach have a big incoming transfer fee at the moment, and they're looking to put that somewhere. And that somewhere could be Wuber because they're looking fairly weak at the back at the moment. Understandable. Adding Wuber won't necessarily make you less weak at the back, but at least you know he'll fit in with the team because he was there last season and he's already proven that he's not very good at defending a lot of the time. In that event, maybe it'd be a case of signing another centre-back. I'm not 100% certain, though. I imagine probably not, because we might want to trust someone like a James DeBio in that situation, but it's honestly quite hard to tell. In addition to that, there is also the Willy Nonto question. This question is not going to go away because he pushed for a move last year. Might want to move this year because we've sold all of his besties out from under him, and that would be a very tricky situation to be in for a player. But I feel like if we are to add a number 10, as well as a Tanaka, as well as Ramazani, as well as Manor Solomon, I'm not really going to complain too much because we've also added Aronson from last season. It's a pretty good spot to be in. And I don't want us to sell Nonto because he's very, very, very good. But imagine what we would look like if we've got basically 2 front fours, all of whom probably get into every other team in the championship. That'd be wild. It'd be fantastic. I'd love it. But ultimately, will Ao Tanaka happen? I think yes. I've seen a lot of people talking about flight radar and a potential chance of. Oh shit! Sorry, I've not had the chat open. Thank you very much, SpongeBob Dave. I really appreciate that. Holy, and I'm glad that you find it informative. A lot of the time is very sort of loosey goosey words, but that's fine. If it seems structured, then it's all good. But I'm happy that you're enjoying it. But ultimately, the question of will the Tanaka move happen? I think yes. I think there's absolutely nothing stopping it. And according to various absolute lunatics in the Leeds United fan base, there is apparently a scheduled flight from Dusseldorf to Leeds Bradford. I'm going to go on Flight Radar right now and have a look. I am admittedly not a person that is very fine. You can have it, a coup. I'm not very good at understanding how Flight Radar, but you know what? Other people are. So I'm going to try and work out what the hell is going on with this thing. No, there isn't a flight. That's fine. Either way, I don't mind too much. But with all that considered, yes, I think we'll sign him. I'm going to ask a quick poll in the chat and see if you guys think we're going to sign him as well, because I'm genuinely leaning heavy on the yes side. I'm going to be shit. It didn't advert. Sorry, I didn't notice that it did that. That's on me. I wasn't in the right tab. You know, I normally give you warning and tell you how to get away from them faster. Ah. How many more signings get announced this window? I'm going to change it. I'm going to go, is it 3+ or is it none at all? I want to see how we're feeling, how confident we're doing. Sadly, I've got a maximum number of options that I can give you on a poll, which is 4. But we're going to offer, are we signing 1, 2, 3+ or none? Because I think that's a pretty fair balance. But at the same time, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Questions Corner. We're going to take some viewer questions. We're going to have a little bit of a natter about anything and everything Leeds related. We're going to stay mostly Leeds related, but it's not going to be the longest Questions Corner, as I mentioned earlier, because long streams are tiring, you know? And like, I've forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, sore throat, not fun, but it's fine. So if anyone has any questions, chuck them in the chat. It can be slightly silly, Billy. It will be professional if there are professional questions, because this isn't like a video recording one. This is just a stream, and then I'll record a video for tomorrow, because I have no doubt there'll be some form of news. Cabal off. I think in the case of Cabal, it would be quite tough for us to sort of justify that deal at the minute. So looking at it, if we've signed Mana Solomon and we've signed Ramazani and we've signed Salai, it would be a stretch to get to get Cabal as well. Because Cabal plays that 10 role, those players can play in that 10 role. I would have loved to have gotten Cabal, but he feels like he was very much a spare part sort of signing. If Tanaka's so good and has a release clause, why have we not signed him already? My feeling, Sophie, would be that it was a case of we were looking at other options, if I were to guess. That wasn't meant to be looking at the camera. That was meant to be like a sort of looking into the distance thinking, but then I've realized that my camera's right there. I think it would be a case of we were considering other options. We were maybe considering, for example, a Lubicic, or I can't. Who else is a midfielder? Hamer, maybe, I guess. And then we went, right, okay, we'll go with Tanaka, which is fine because he's very good. Track Ubers to see if Hamer's coming. Yeah, why not? Are we saying right now or overall? Like overall ever? Because I'll be honest, there's a bit of Rutter heartbreak still here. Just because, damn it. Beyond Rutter, I think right now, well, earlier than Rutter, Rafinha made me so happy, man. But I'd go with like a Bamford or a Firpo just because I love an underdog and not enough people like them enough. Current, right. Let's go with Firpo because it's less controversial right now. Just today, there's still chance of Hamer. Is that off now? I imagine it's very unlikely, to be completely honest with you. Purely because I don't think we need him, and he would cost a lot more money than is worth, I think. You know. Facts from Sophie. Club said Solomon proves the method of waiting until the end for the best players, but Ao was available the whole time, so can only be a backup for failed targets. Yeah, but the fact that someone isn't our number one target doesn't make them a good footballer. Like, if you think about it, we signed Willie Nonto when he was a third choice target. Which, looking at it, you'd think that's not great. But then you look at the fact that in his first season, he was able to do pretty well for us. Admittedly, we got relegated, but he looked good. And yeah. I don't think someone being, like, not necessarily a first target is a bad thing. Could be worse, you know. What was I looking at? Which was the one I was looking at? Nope, that was a hay moment. Right, cool. Favorite food that makes you feel good? A good burger. I love a good burger, but it can't be like a thick burger. Like the burger, like there's something nice in like one of the like naff greasy cheeseburgers. Delicious. I also love a bit of a like brisket or a roast dinner. They're always good fun. Couple. Hello. Hamer on the bench tonight. I imagine he would have probably been on the bench either way because it's a Carabao Cup match. You don't want to risk your players. Like no one cares that much about the Carabao. You know. Team Iris is in the chat. There we go. Roast dinner is the most overrated meal of all time. You need to make better roast dinners, or I need to get Kayla to fight you because banging roast dinners in this household. Thank you very much. Can we bid £1.50 for Callum O'Hare just to annoy Chris Wilder? I think we should. I think we should be like. In fact, can we have them on a free and just see if they go with it? That'd be great. Favorite food to get at Elland Road? I'm not really a food at Elland Road person, to be honest with you. I'm a eat beforehand kind of guy. But then again, for the home match against Leicester last season, fantastic match. I feel like I might have tasted some of the guy next to me's top chips when he was celebrating our third goal and just launched them all over the East Stand Upper. It looked so good. It smelled so good, and I couldn't have any, and it made me so sad. Should have gone for it, you know. But there we go. We might be dropping points for a month or so while the new lads get settled into the team. I don't think that'll be the case. I think it's normal to drop points in the championship because that's what the championship is. But it'll be a case of keep the same core first 11 for the most part. And then when players have earned their way in, that's when they can get starts. Just because that's a much better way to sort of manage a squad, you know? Make sure that everything's all right. Yes, you're so good. I appreciate you guys can't see Iris, but I feel like you can hear Iris, and that's what counts. I think general incompetence cost Orta his job. The fact that he went from Bielsa to Marsh, which is a very different system, and was like, no, this is continuity. No, it wasn't. And was like, you know who's the right replacement for Jesse Marsh? Javi Gracia. After doing some genuinely shoddy recruitment. Nah. His job was lost by his own incompetence. Not the John Kevin Augustin thing. That was a bad call. It was. But that's not the call that lost him his job. even a little bit. Do you live in Leeds? No, I live in Blackpool. And I just noticed afterwards that you retracted that comment, so I apologise. Do you think Everton will finally go down this season? I hope so. Because that would be very, very funny. Just to see them just... Especially when a lot of the sort of club's vibe is, look at us, we've never been relegated. Just do it. Just go down. Down you go. It'd be funny. I'm going to look at the Premier League table, actually, and see how Everton are bottom. Okay. They've conceded 7. What the fuck? They've not even scored. 4-0 against Spurs, 3-0 against Everton, and their next match is at home against Bournemouth, but I think Bournemouth are comfortably better than them. So that's going to be a fun day out. Bye-bye, Everton. 3 teams going up and 3 coming down. I think... Do I think Ipswich come down? I think Ipswich don't quite have the quality and depth that they need. I think Everton come down because I don't think that squad is good at this point. And I think Leicester. Because whilst Leicester have a point, their entire fan base is already arguing with itself and falling apart a bit, and they're incredibly angry about basically everything, especially recruitment. And whilst that's quite funny, it doesn't really speak to remaining in the division for too long. I think they're just... Hope Ipswich stay up. I also hope that they do. I just don't think that they've got the players to. So I'm going to go Everton, Ipswich, Leicester. In terms of going up, I'm going to go with us because I'm feeling optimistic. Gonna have a look at the championship table just for an idea of who's here. Sunderland are a good side, so I can see that being a potential one for them. So I'll say we go up automatically, and then I'll say West Ham for the playoffs because it's got to happen at some point. Although they're very reliant on Josh Maja right now. And they've proven that they can do that sort of like annoying thinking things through too much thing. Also, I think it might be about to spring. So as always, the way to get off it as quick as you can is just click on the advert, swipe back, and it will make it more valuable for me. You will get back faster. YouTube earn more money. It's just the advertiser that gets screwed over a little bit, which is funny. So I'm going to insert the ad about now, and let me know what ads you get. I'm always kind of curious which companies I'm basically stealing from. Coventry won't go up. I don't think Coventry will go up either, to be honest with you. Everton could survive due to the inadequacies of the promoted 3. They could, but I think they've got a little bit more inadequacy in them right now. Watford won 5 in a row. I know, but at the same time, they've just lost Asprilla, who is a very, very good player. And if you look at their results, if I can find them. Yeah, in terms of wins, they beat MK Dons in the Carabao Cup. Fine. Beat Millwall 3-2, which is not the most promising, you know. Beat Derby 2-1. They're a promoted side, so it's not the most promising again. Stoke 3-0, fair enough. And Plymouth 2-0 in the Carabao, which you can't really put that much stock in. They've won 5, sure. I think their biggest test so far is going to be Sheffield United on Sunday, which could be very interesting, I think. In terms of things that people had advertised to them, we have Adobe, we have Danny with an ad blocker. Brilliant. Monster Jam, apparently 2 Love Honeys. And yeah. Burnley not having a fun time at the moment, academy managers quitting and all that. Yeah, that's not great. That's why I don't think Burnley will go up. I think they're structurally a little bit iffy. Must have a blocker. I've never seen an ad on YouTube. If you've got YouTube Premium, that would do the same thing for you. But what I am going to do, the Plants left to Barnsley, that's funny. Reporting he's got no release clause. He's only got a year left on his contract, though. So I can see his value being on the floor, which is very nice. But I'm approaching half an hour, and I'm going to say I'm going to have streamed for about half an hour once we get there. What do you think about Sam Greenwood getting 2 goals today? I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you. Where is Sam Greenwood? Preston North End. But yeah, I'm going to stream for another 3 minutes. Oh, it was against Harrogate. That doesn't count. One of them was a penalty. He scored once against a League 2. Is it League 2? Yeah, he scored 1 real goal against a League 2 side. It doesn't count. But if anyone has any more questions, pop them in the chat and we'll get through them. And then in 3 minutes, I'll be in the stream, which will be very, very nice. And then I'm going to go to bed. Haha, I'm going to have a normal time of going to sleep. What a treat. Especially ahead of Friday. Oh, the deadline day stream. We love a deadline day stream. But yeah, basically, I think we're going to get Tanaka. I'm going to run a very quick new poll that will run for about 2 minutes. Do we sign Tanaka? Simple yes, no. Do you think we sign Tanaka? I'm leaning towards the yes. I hope we do. I think we will. He's cheap, he's affordable, he's good. I can see him coming. Is Manor Solomon any good? I think yes. I think he's just a bit injury prone, so we'll have to find out. Leeds are looking better now, right? Absolutely, yep. Throughout this window, I've basically been patience, so I feel rather vindicated right now. Although I did last week preach get a fucking shift on, but then they got a shift on, so I'm feeling more okay about it. Who do I want to go up with Leeds? I want to see Sunderland get promoted because I think that'd be quite nice. And I'll go West Brom. I want to see Corberan get a little bit of success. Am I streaming all night Friday? The idea is, because I am working on Friday evening, that after work I'm gonna start go until the window is shut, which should be quite good. Latest on Tanaka is that we are reportedly looking at making a bid for him, which will be quite nice. What about Salai? We haven't had any big updates on Salai throughout the day. It was just this morning we found out that Leeds were very interested in a €9 million-ish move, and the player wanted to come, which would be very nice. That'd be fantastic. And I think is one that will potentially happen. Thank you very much, Michael, for smashing the like. And I think we'll get Salah. I think once we've hit the stage of Leeds are interested, reported by The Athletic and Tavolieri and everyone else, potential. What time is the window shut? 11 p.m. Midnight on the continent, 11 p.m. here. Does Nonto leave? I'll have this as the final question. I think Nonto stays. Sorry, I'll do this one first anyway. What's the latest on Irons? I don't know. I've not been following that one too closely, but if it happens, it happens. Either way, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, pop a like on it. That'd be fantastic. Subscribe if you're not yet, as I brought up earlier. If I can find the screenshot. I don't know if that's showing or not, but there we go. 65% of you aren't subscribed. That's a shame. That's genuinely a shame. So pop a subscribe. That'd be lovely. I'm trying to get to 5,000 as soon as I can. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, like, subscribe. You could even be a channel member. It's 99p for a month, and you get basically all of my videos early by at least a bit, for the most part by an overnight, which is quite nice. And yeah, I will see you later. Ta-ra. And now, oh shit, I need to end the poll. Okay, you guys think we signed Tanaka. I'm going to end on that. It's going to be positive. See you later.